Hey guys, my name is Katsov, and today is I'm gonna make a video on WorldEdit. Now, no, I'm not gonna make a simple video on here's position 1, here's position 2, / set 46, this will change it to TNT. No, I'm not gonna do that. This video is going to be on the WorldEdit / generation command. Whoa. This is a really useful command if you know how to use it. And not many people do. I tried looking on YouTube for videos on how to use this. I tried asking people, like in the comments. I try of other more advanced WorldEdit tutorials. No one really seemed to know how to use it, so, well, I decided to figure it out myself. There's a really helpful forum or wiki page. It's on the xCATSOFx wiki. xCATSOFx is the guy who made WorldEdit, I think. Genius plugin. Well, and mod, I guess. But I'm using it on a plugin currently on my server. This is just a derpy server. I made these. I didn't make these with the generation command. I made these with the / sphere command. But generation can do cool things too. It's more precise and mathematically oriented than just randomly clicking a sphere tool. But that being said, it requires a good understanding of mathematics, three-dimensional geometry, inequalities to an extent, I guess. You need to know how to use math, pretty much. 3 variables, 3 on a 3 coordinate space. And if you know how to use that, and you know how to use WorldEdit in general, like the first position, second position, whatever, then I think you have a pretty good start for the generation command. Now I'm going to show you a couple things that this command can do. Can do stuff like this. I can type in one command and make this. The wiki page that I'm going to link in the description has a bunch of other examples, I guess, of shapes that it can make, but I'm going to basically tell you how it works. Now this is what I suggest you do. Most of the time, no, I shouldn't say that. What I'm doing here is, let's get, I don't know, let's use diamonds. I'm just putting a block in the sky. Second position / set 0. Okay. Now since I have a block in the sky, first position, second position, this will be one of my corners. Let me stand on it. All / expand 20. That'll expand the region that way. Expand 20, it'll expand it that way 20 blocks. I really should be using odd numbers so that the total number is even, but whatever, and I'll do the same thing up. Now this is a 21 by 21 by 21 cube. If I set it to diamond blocks, then you can see the area which we'll be working with. What I'm going to do is make a corner. Make corners in each of these corners. And this will make it easier to visualize the three-dimensional what's the word I'm looking for? Space in which we'll be working with. Now all of this command basically uses the three-dimensional geometry. No, that's a terrible way to put it. It uses three axes in a space. Well, uses three axes in a space to form shapes according to inequalities that you type up. Is this even the same size? I think this is a little bit bigger, but whatever. It doesn't matter. So if you look at your coordinates up here, it looks like my negative x is in this direction and my positive x is in this direction. I'm going to go ahead and select. No, I already did. Okay, never mind. My positive x is in this direction and my negative x is in this direction. So the generation command, if you don't use flags that it allows you to use, if you don't use those flags, this line will represent -1 in the x. No. This line will represent +1 in the x, on the x-axis, this plane. Likewise with the z-coordinate, it looks like this is -z, so this axis will represent, not this axis, this plane will represent -1 in the z direction. Likewise, +1 in the x and +1 in the z. And with the y, -1, +1. So at the exact center of this cube, this 21 by 21 by 21 cube, there's a coordinate 0, 0, 0, which is 0 in the x, 0 in the y, and 0 in the z. It's at the exact center of this. That basically represents the axes. I'm going to set this to 0, and before you get confused, let me just get rid of these. I have a power tool set up on this diamond axe that will undo my we'll use the command / undo just so that I don't have to type it every single time. Now to better visualize the axes, I'm going to use the generation command to actually make axes. We're going to go / generation. Let's just do 1 for stone. X equals 0. 0 blocks changed. Why is that? Well, if you're using the equals sign, you usually want to put this. What is that called? Oh, that's going to bug me that I don't know what it's called. I'll be back. Tilde, of course. Why didn't I think of that? Okay, so x, that just means it's just making the command say x is approximately equal to 0. And, well, if I type it correctly, There you go. X is approximately equal to 0. This is the XY. Wait. Yeah, this is the XY plane. Now let's go the same. Z is approximately equal to 0. This is the ZY plane. And Y is approximately equal to 0. This is the XZ plane. And if you've had coordinate geometry, you know that this is a three-dimensional axis. It probably looks more like just lines, or you've seen it more just like lines, but it's easier to visualize like this, in my opinion. So let's undo these, and let's make a more complex shape. Basically, what I did to learn this command is just type in random / gen 1 x approximately equal to y. What does that give me? Oh, what is this? Where's my... That's positive x. Okay, so if you look at this, x is approximately equal to y. This coordinate here, disregarding the z, is -1, -1. The coordinate in the center, I don't know exactly which block it is 0, 0, and this is 1, 1. Well, if you recognize this already, awesome, you're ahead of the game. But if you don't, this is the line x equals y, essentially. But this is only using 2 dimensions. The z, it doesn't matter, it's just a block the whole way across. What am I trying to say? The blocks along the line y equals x, or approximately along this line, are generated using this block that we specified. Let me just get rid of that. I had to stop because I decided that I didn't know what I was saying. So you can also use inequalities. X is greater than y. This will put a block of stone in every spot that the x coordinate is greater than the y coordinate. So what does that look like? It basically just fills in the area underneath that line that we had before. Yes, it doesn't actually put the line there because we didn't use an less than or equal to, but see the blocks missing. There should be, if we still had that line, there would be blocks in those places. So what does this mean? Let me just change time to day. I had to cut again because I didn't know what I was saying. If you're ahead of the game, you've probably already deduced that we can generate common math related, or common math equations. It's greater than or less than? Less than. I don't know, 0.35. I think you have to use 0. And this will create a circle. This here is the equation of a circle. X squared plus y squared is less than some number. And let me just undo this. If this was a greater than sign, it would generate on the outside because it's greater than that number. I'm not going to go into why that is, It's just that this equation is the equation of a circle. And I mean, sometimes it's the plus or minus y equals plus or minus square root of 0.35 minus x squared, but it's just easier to use it in this form because you don't have to isolate y. You don't have to solve for y. Let me just get rid of that. And now let's use z also. So let me type in let's not use 1. Let's use, I don't know, a cool block. 40, no. I would get too tempted to do that. I don't know, let's just use wool. Generate, what's the simplest equation that I can think of? Well, x plus y plus z, not x, is, say, less than 1. And it doesn't look like it's perfect, but I should have used 0.5. So all of these blocks where wool appeared is where that equation is true. That's the fundamental idea behind the generation command. And then all you have to do after you understand that just the solutions to that inequality is where blocks are generated, all you have to do is type in equations to various mathematical graphs, trig functions. You can use a ton of math. WorldEdit supports, I have what it supports on my other monitor. Absolute value, arc cosine, arc sine, arc tangent? I don't know what that is. Arc tangent 2. I'll have to experiment with what that is. Arc tangent, cube root, ceiling, cosine, hyperbolic cosine, exponential, floor, natural log, log. No, that's the same. So natural log, log base 10, maximum, minimum, closest integer, rounding, sine, hyperbolic sine, square root, tangent, hyperbolic tangent. And it has some other, like a rotation, swapping coordinates, random integer. I wonder what a random function or a random generation would look like. Nope, 35. Random is less than 0.5. Whoa. Okay, well, I'll link to that page and the generation wiki page in the description. Now that I was gonna say, whoops. Let me switch to a different block. It's also gonna say I would show you how to generate this, like with the different colors of wool, but I don't exactly remember how. I wrote it down, but I don't think I have the papers right here. So I'll show you some of the shapes that the WorldEdit wiki gives as examples. Let me see. I also learned from this. Well, no, let's... it keeps wanting me to use TNT. now that I've told you that how this works, let me just give you another example. X squared plus y squared plus z squared is less than, or is less than 0.35. I think there's supposed to be 0.35. That will generate a sphere. I mean, well, you're probably asking, what's the point of a sphere or generating a sphere? We already have the sphere generation command. / sphere. Well, let's say you wanted it to be stretched out in the y direction. Well, you could do 2 times y squared. Oh, yeah, that would make it thinner. Oh, duh, CATSOF. See, 0.5 times y. That makes it taller in the y direction. I can't believe I missed that. But it has a lot of uses like that to generate geometric shapes. Let's get rid of both of those. And I'm going to show you one of the examples that is used on the WorldEdit wiki, and I'm going to tell you what this means. Generation wool, the block is wool, the data on the wool is equal to this expression right here, 32 plus y times 16 plus 1, that's 16y. I don't know exactly why they did that. And then remainder 16 when divided by 16. This is basically saying take the y multiply by 16, add 33, and then take the remainder when divided by 16. And that gives you a value of between 1 and 15, which are the data values of wool. And this is saying y squared divided by 9, so that's 1/9 of y squared, so it'll be taller in the y direction, plus x squared divided by 6 times 1 over this value, 1 minus 0.4 y, plus z squared over 6, this is the same as the x squared term, times this, the same value over here that's multiplied by this x squared term, is less than 0.8. Now I'm sure all you're waiting for is what it yields. Well, let's find out. An egg. That's what its description is. I haven't really. This is the first time I've looked at this equation. I'm assuming this section right here makes it lower than what it is. Actually, yeah, that's definitely what it does. But set time to day. You write these massive, not massive, but these large equations to generate your own custom shapes. Now just because it's cool, I'm going to use something with a trig function, like sine, cosine, tangent. Let's use sine of x is greater than y. What? Oh, yeah, that's right, because x is only from 0 to 1. Let's go 2 times pi times x is greater than y. Let's actually get that alone. And you can see it follows the sign of x graph with 0 at 0, 1 at pi over 4, 0 at pi over 2, negative 1 at 3 pi over... No, I'm doing this wrong. This is still 1, because I used the 2 here. Would that affect it? Obviously, I don't know what I'm talking about, but, and I'm sure people will call me out about that in the comments, but this is a sign to the x graph from 0 to 2 pi. I think that would be right there. Oh, that's right, because it's from negative 1 to 1. So 0 at 0, 1 at pi over 4, 0 at pi over 2. No. 1 at pi over 4? No, pi over 2. 0 again at pi. Negative 1 at 3 pi over 2, and then 0 again at 2 pi. Now I know what I'm talking about, kind of. Probably not. But since we multiplied it by 2 pi, that's why from 0 to 1 is its period, because it's multiplied by 2 pi. I don't know, there's applications for this. You can make canyons by varying z also to make it wider, or really whatever you want to do. The limits of this command basically are what math can handle, or at least what math WorldEdit can handle, and your own knowledge of math and three-dimensional geometry. Now I probably sound like I'm babbling on right now. I'm going to pause the video and find the equation for this thing. I did not get it off of the wiki. I wrote this equation myself. And I know it's written down somewhere, but I'm gonna go find it right now and I'll be back. I did use the how to vary the wool color. I learned how to do that from the commands, the examples that they give, and I'm pretty sure this is in a screenshot on my laptop, so I'm just gonna start it up right now and show you what I based it off of. Or I'll just show you some cool stuff here. Copied it, let's get rid of this. No, /paste. Generate wool. Data of 32 plus 5 divided by 2 divided by pi times the arctangent x, y. Okay, I guess that's what it... Whoops. I guess that is what that means. It takes the angle when you give an x and a y. Okay. And this expression here will yield a value between 1 and 15 that the wool's data will be. And that value is determined by basically the angle. This is a rainbow torus. 0.75 minus the square root of x squared plus y squared plus z squared is less than 0.25 squared. The radius will be 0.25. And let's see what we get. Yes, you can do this with the generation command. That is cool. This is what I was talking about, how the angle will be, and it looks like it's the angle 0 is here. And it it just goes around like that. Let's bring it up. That gives an angle in terms of pi, 2 over that, 15 over that, and then 32 plus that fraction. And then, yeah, I'm just babbling on. So I'm going to find that command and I'll be back. I'm pretty sure it was fairly simple, so I hope it will be understandable. And it is. I've found it. Finally. / generation 35, which is wool, data equals 15 times the absolute value, I can't type, of z, which means the wool data will only vary in the z direction, semicolon. X squared plus y squared minus 1.75 times z squared is greater than 0.35 squared. Now, what does this mean? Well, the data will be 15 times the absolute value of z. 15 is the maximum, or the data values of wool. That means z data will only vary in the z direction. But since you can't have negative data, that actually crashed my server and crashed this world when I did it. Did it crash the world? No, I think it just crashed the server. I can't remember now, but don't do it. Use the absolute value of z, which will return always return a positive value. And then x squared plus y squared minus z squared. And this 1.75 times z squared, that makes it curve out in the z direction instead of forming a circle. If this was a plus, it would form some sort of circle, and I'm just gonna do that. Get rid of this, and then generate it. Now, what is this? It's just a block of wool. No, it's not. It's hollow in the center. Kind of. But let's get rid of that. That's what oh no. Okay. // Let's actually go back to here. This minus makes it a whole lot cooler. And it's comparable to that over there. Only because it only differs because this is 30 this is a 31 by 31 by 31 cube. And that lets WorldEdit incorporate all of the values of z. But this only includes a couple. I don't know, I didn't expect that, but it's still kind of cool. I'm a little disappointed myself, but the negative z causes it to circularly go this direction. I don't know how to put it, but it causes it to flesh out in this direction instead of having the walls come in and just having it be hollow. Likewise, I'm pretty sure, I'm just going to try this out now. This is basically what I did, is I experimented with a ton of stuff. Whoa, that's pretty cool. I experimented with a ton of stuff to see what would be cool, what does what, how does it work, how does each parameter affect the resulting generation. And that's how I'm suggesting you should learn it. I tried looking for videos, but I'm pretty sure a video couldn't have taught me how to make this without telling me. You have to figure it out on your own. A video could tell you how to use the command, but not completely. You have to figure out how to make your three-dimensional graphs work. Let me see if I have other ones saved on my laptop. Oh yeah. Many of you may not know this, but this one's pretty cool. 50, generation 50%. I don't know the block for lapis lazuli, comma 50% gold block. That basically says half of the blocks will be lapis lazuli and half of them will be gold. This can work for any command. This can be / set if you wanted. But that's something I didn't know until I found that out. I forget how I found it out, but and then the absolute value of x plus the absolute value of z times, and we're going to do the same thing, absolute value of almost the same thing, y plus the absolute value of, I can't type, z times the absolute value of x plus the absolute value of y is greater than 1. Now what this is saying is add two absolute values and then multiply them with the rest of them. And this produces this nice, this really cool diamond shape. I wonder what would happen if you inverted it. So is greater than 1. I mean less than 1. See, that's pretty cool. You can do tons of different stuff so long as you know how to use your math. And basically, I just messed around with it. I just kept doing stuff until I got a shape that I liked. So, yeah. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I know I have struggled along the way. That's just because this is my first tutorial. Oh, look, a village. But I thought it would be one in desire because I did not see a generation tutorial on YouTube, on anywhere. I mean, I learned it from the Wiki, but it wasn't that specific. I figured it out more on my own than used the Wiki. But I hope this tutorial was at least taught you something you didn't know. I didn't really go over that many cool designs. I might make another video of some cool generations. And I think that's about it. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.